Warning, this video contains spoilers for Tales of Arise, as well as minor spoilers for Tales of Berseria, Final Fantasy XIII, and Final Fantasy IX. So if you haven't played those games, just either play them or watch the stories and then come back to the video when you're ready. One of the major aspects I love with the Tales series in general is with the characters, with a majority of them in almost every title being more fleshed out and undergoing some change throughout the journey, whether it's their behavior, attitude, or even outlook and perception of things. And I feel that trend has kept going even with the recent entry, Tales of Arise. Now turning a year old, what good way to celebrate that than to do an analysis of one of the game's characters, and the character I've chosen, who is arguably where Arise's heart lies within, and just so happens to not only be my favorite character in the game, but also my favorite character in the entire series. She is the Ronin maiden inflicted by a dreaded curse, the main heroine of the game. Hey everyone, what up? Mad Kaiser here, and welcome to the character analysis for Shionne Vymer Imeris Daymore. During the beginning of the game, where we meet Alphen, who is our main protagonist, being resided in the fiery Danon realm of Calaglia, who at this moment undergoes the name Iron Mask because of him not only wearing such an iron mask that's difficult for him to take off, but has also suffered from amnesia and is also unable to feel pain. Him as a Danon continues to work as a slave for the Ronins, till one day his life begins to change. As such, we see the Ronins traversing through the realm with a precious cargo, till they are ambushed by Zephyr and the Crimson Crows, a Danon resistance force. They discovered that the cargo was carrying a beautiful pink-haired girl wrapped in chains, who has been inflicted with a deadly powerful curse, one that will bring upon pain, as those who would even touch her can feel it. Her name is Shionne, who then escapes from her capture and lands on a freight train, and it just so happens to be the same freight train that Iron Mask has been sent to work. He discovers her only to see that she's being pursued by the Ronins, and after an ensuing escape from the pursuers, Iron Mask and Shionne wound up in one of the Crimson Crow's hideouts, and we just now take a look at Shionne's personality. We see that she is stern, cold, and even has a bit of rage inside of her. After an attack on the base, Shionne and Iron Mask decide to team up to take down the Ronin invaders and eventually catch up to Zephyr, till all three of them are surrounded by a platoon, with one of them shooting an arrow onto her chest. What does this do is just spark powerful astral energy from her, revealing that she has a Fire Master core inside of her, that Iron Mask willingly goes to grab the flames and manifests a blazing sword. Using that power to burn an entire platoon, Shionne uses her healing heart to restore his wounds, even if he does not feel pain from the scorches. This alone gives Shionne an opportunity and plan. We also learn that she also is a Ronin from Lenegis, the star of Frenna, and also capable of wielding astral energy with her eyes glowing, hence the term bright eyes, and also has the ability to manifest and summon her weapons. And while she is in the same race as the Ronin oppressors, she has no loyalty towards them or the Ronin lords, as Shionne states to both Iron Mask and the Crimson Crows. that she wants nothing more than just to take down all the Renan Lords, and that she'll use every opportunity to do so. But is there really all there is to it? As such, Iron Mask wants to do the same, but that so his race can live and taste freedom. So both of them have similar goals, though one is clearer than the other. Both she and Iron Mask do agree to work together, even if they don't get along nicely. Given that Shionne does have the ability to manifest a blazing sword and give it the power, and Iron Mask has the sheer will to hold it without feeling the pain from such flames, as well as Shionne using her healing to patch him up. They're both ready to storm Balsev's castle and take him down. 1 moment beforehand, she willingly saves a kid after being attacked by a Renan guard. And after Balsev's defeat and the gates of fire that blocked the realm from the rest of the world shattered, as well as Iron Mask regaining his name Alphen after slowly remembering with part of his mask breaking, we see that Shionne not only has healed his injuries once more, but has even gone to heal the townsfolk as well, from her own accord, as she even doesn't want to admit it. This alone has Alphen even curious as to why, although all it does is set up for thorns and get so angry and embarrassed. We then cut to them checking the gates that grants them access to the next realm, with them still clear of their goal and still of them barking at each other. We then see a small Danan mage named Rinwell with a baby Al-Hutu pass by and slowly passes out, who is also part of the Custodial resistance known as the Silver Swords. We also learn that she has some very distaste for Renans, with Shionne being no exception. During the journey heading to Custodial, Shionne slowly does more things out of her own accord, like one time helping Alphen get medicine for Winwell, and one where she saves an owl from stray Zilgals. While on the outside, she still keeps a cold demeanor and makes an excuse to cover any sentiment up. We do know that she does still have a heart. When both of them and Zephyr arrive in the realm and one of the towns, they encounter a Renan special force called the Snake Eyes, with one of the agents being a Danan named Law, who is also Zephyr's son by the way. And man does he have a stern hatred towards Zephyr. With them surrounded and Zephyr refusing to leave him, leading to his capture, the three decide to escape and head somewhere safe. The two also learn about Rinwell being able to use astral arts, as that alone is forbidden for Dan to do so. While both of them bark at each other, Shionne does still see this as nothing more but an opportunity to fulfill her goal even further. We also learn that while she is dead set of completing such goal, she is not 100% reckless and can get analytical of her surroundings, sometimes dictating the best course of action and even forming a strategic plan or retreat. After numerous events having occurred, which them reaching the capital, including things like being the Silver Swords, having Lord join them after the Light Renan Lord Ganabelt killed Zephyr, which eventually led to his demise, and the freedom of Custodial, Alphen and Shionne argue over, with Shionne stating that their endeavour wouldn't be shy of any repercussions or losses, telling that if he won't be able to handle nor accept those risks, he should go back to Calaglia. This shows that how headstrong and committed she is, willing to continue even if there are heavy obstacles in the pathway, and she'll still charge straight through and do whatever it takes to complete her goal. While Alphen, on the other hand, is not so sure, as he does not want to see any more innocent lives, nor his friends or allies, die during his journey. In one of the bonding events, We also learn that Shionne did not have much of a childhood due to her thorns, with the only friend she had was just a doll. Because it was the only thing she could touch without worrying or harming anything, she had to leave it behind when leaving Legacy. It also tells us that all this time she has had no real friends during her lifetime back home, and presumably cause the curse alone probably have prevented that, having to let herself be really alone, self-isolate, and play with a doll, and even lack some social skills. From at this point we gain that Shionne's personality can be described as more cold, ruthless, stern towards others, dead set on her goal and nothing more, but still being a bit strategic with her choices and coming with logical outcomes. In similar ways, she's reminiscent of characters like Lightning Theron from the Final Fantasy XIII trilogy, as well as Velvet Crow from Tales of Berseria, both of them having rough attitudes and still having a tactical mindset in some regard, and as well as, using the best course of action to get what they need. Though, if you played both games, you will know for certain that they're not permanently all angry and cold all the time. So, does that logic also apply to Shionne? When they arrive at Elder Menancia, they are all gasped by its beauty that even Shionne smiles and is even marveled by, even when she stops after Alphen stares at her for just a bit. They enter through the Saint and find something unusual. Unlike the last two realms, where Calaglia was where Balsef and his forces put the slaves to brutal work, and Ceslodia, where Ganabelt and his men put the town's inhabitants at edge with each other and gave them trust issues, Elder Menancia has something unusual, and that is where both Denons and Renans are getting along nicely and peacefully coexisting with each other. This puts the gang into shock and immediately disbelief. They even meet the Earth Renan Lord Dolim Ilkaris as captain of the Royal Guard, Kisara. Dolim assures that all he cares about is maintaining peace in this realm, and that he has no interest in enslaving the Danans in part of the crown contest like the other Renan Lords did. But that still doesn't stop Shionne to try to take him down, though Dolim catches her by surprise, and just when he attacks in response, Alphen takes a hit for her. Shionne heals from him a bit, but both still argue with why Alphen took the hit for her, and that Shionne attacked cause taking Dolim down is part of her goal. Then when he leaves, Law explains that Alphen did that cause he was likely worried about her. Shionne gets shocked about this after the people that praised her back at Calaglia when she helped out, and now where Alphen is possibly even worried about her? Given that in the past, no one really cared about Shionne, and Shionne did not even have a true friend to begin with. After a couple of events where they discover a secret Danan group called the Gold Dust Cats, led by Miguel, who is Kisara's brother, as well as they took something's afoot hidden in the Saint, both Alphen and Shionne talk outside and reflect on their prior encounter with Dolim. She asks, is it true that the reason Alphen took the blow was that because he was worried about her? He responds by saying that if he didn't, he wouldn't be able to use a blazing sword anymore, and if he did as well, he just didn't feel like losing her. She heals more of Alphen's shoulder till it feels better, and starts to slowly gain feelings towards him, though she does hide it. After a long string of events involving the revelation of the Fruit of Helgan, Miguel's death, Kisara's sadness, Kelzelik's betrayal, as well as Dolim stepping down his role as Lord, with him and Gisara joining in the fray. They venture into Mahag-Sar on the way, till Shionne gets exhausted from the walking. So Alphen, showing care for her, tells the gang to take a break, even though Shionne, not concerned, still wants to press on, though the rest want to take a break anyway, much to her irritation, and telling Alphen not to fret about her. Things start to go out of hand when the gang are attacked by a mysterious black swordsman who previously was seen killing Zugals in Sisodia. A battle ensues when the swordsman dominating over the others, till Shionne's bullet hits him in the eye, grasping his attention. Alphen tries to stop, but gets thrown over, and just when Alphen's mask starts to begin glowing, the swordsman is ready to attack him. But then Shionne steps in and takes the hit, which then a powerful surge of energy emitting from Alphen is unleashed with its anger, concern, and sorrow, taking center stage, pleading that Shionne doesn't die. This energy alone wards off the swordsman, so he vanishes. However, Shionne is still alive and heals her wounds, with Alphen relieved, but still crossed that Shionne did that, even when Alphen did the same for her back at Visinct. But now, Shionne starts becoming a bit more grateful towards him after worrying about her. They arrive at the realm's capital, Nias, where the town seems ravaged, and find that it was already liberated by the Dark Rings, who got the Renan Lord Almedria on the run. The gang meet them and their leader Dedaim, with him scoffing and being rude to Shionne, and saying that all Renans are bad and deserve to die. Though Alphen snaps, saying that people like him and most importantly Shionne are his friends, to the point he punches Dedaim in anger. Both have a moment outside with him telling her that she does not deserve to be treated poorly, and the other with Alphen trying to find out more on Shionne's goal, and showing that he's now more than trustworthy to her. Then after the gang try to find out where Almedria is, and then, with no such luck, Alphen then catches on to Shionne's behavior and asks why she continues to be hasty, with him to understand that Shionne truly is a caring person underneath that rough exterior of hers, and he just wants to help. Shionne then snaps in tears and truly reveals her real motive. She wants to end her curse, to grab all the master cores from each of the Renan Lords, to make the Renas armor, which will remove her curse, the curse that alone has brought her nothing but loneliness and despair to begin with, which has both Alphen and the others still willing to help her all the way, as friends. It's then when she starts accepting them and becomes more friendly towards the others. During the chase towards Almedria, Shionne starts to open more to Alphen again, telling him that while she has seen bad things in Dana from both races, she has also seen the good things during her journey, and like Alphen, she also wants to believe that there can be a future for both races to peacefully coexist, and that she admits Alphen's words that she has changed for the better, so she touches him with confidence. Knowing that Alphen is the first true person she touched, showing strong feelings for both of them, and that they care for one another. Shionne then starts dropping her rough exterior and starts becoming heartwarming to the others, more confident in caring without hiding. Things take a turn, however, after the defeat of Almedria, where Rinwell is just about to take her into custody after throwing her hatred out. The mysterious swordsman appears once again, who's revealed to be Voron, the Water Renan Lord, who not only kills Almedria, but clashes with Alphen, which then, massive energy from him bursts, destroying his mask entirely, revealing the true power Alphen had, but has also regained his memories, and sadly, his sense of pain, to the point of Shionne shedding a tear. This then leads to Voron kidnapping Shionne back to his kingdom at Ganapharos. The next time we see Shionne, she's stripped down to a black dress, and now is separated by friends. Her fear and anxiety of loneliness taking effect once more, with her thorns being now unstable. When Alphen and the others do eventually reach to the kingdom where Rowan is residing, they find Shionne standing with lifeless eyes, saying that she'll be forever alone, and thus her never-ending thorns retaliate and attack them. Facing it in a dire situation, and learning this was Shionne's despair, Alphen walks towards it, despite the thorns keep attacking him, saying that she is not alone anymore, that he and the others are here and always will be. In a powerful moment that's truly reminiscent of the "You Are Not Alone" moment from Final Fantasy IX, Alphen breaks the thorn surrounding her, hugs her while enduring the pain, telling her that her friends will bear her thorns together, and making a promise, while not only snaps Shionne out of a blank state, but it also removes the giant thorns and where she heals Alphen's wounds, crying in joy, now knowing that she'll never be alone. She regains her sense of self once learning that Alphen truly missed her, and that he now got a look into her true self, with both of them doing a quip to each other, and now with their feelings have been deepened than ever before. After an intense showdown against Rowan, leading to both his defeat and disappearance, the gang gather all the Master Cores, till a Red Lady appears and uses the Master Cores, as well as the Dark Master Core hidden inside of her, to form the Arena's armor, while triggering both Alphen's sovereign powers and the reveal that Shionne is the Maiden, and a descendant of Naori, the woman that Alphen had memories of, who Shionne also bears a similar resemblance to. During the journey of the 3 remaining realms, we see that Shionne has become now open and more caring towards her friends, after Alphen and them made sure that his insecurities and fear of being alone would no longer remain, and that she has also gained a much strong interest to Alphen, as much as he has to her, forming a new bond and relationship. But the question is, does this relationship pay off at the end? We then head to Act 2, where after the events of Act 1, all the realms of Dana have been freed from the Renan oppressors, though Shionne is still a bit wary after what happened back during Rowan's defeat, and now still stuck with that curse. Things have not been so easy for her, and while she's no longer hard-minded as she once was, she still keeps a bit of feelings inside, but is still warm to others. During a mission where both of them, where all the gang heads to stop the Renans from using a red siphon that will steal Dana's astral energy, both Rinwell and Kaiser talk to Shionne and how they have gained an understanding of each other, showing that they are just friends to her as much as the boys are, and how their journey also sheds some light on things from their perspective. Shionne becomes more grateful to all, but deep down is burdened by another thing she's just been hiding, which puts the gang at edge a bit. Eventually, they find a starship found on Dan's soil, the same one that has actually brought Alphen back after the incident he had 300 years ago. While it is still working in condition, they decide to rest for a bit, prepare, and then use it to head to both Lenegis and Rena. However, while the others sleep, Alphen wakes up, realizing Shionne is no longer with them, and finds her about to take the starship and go in alone. Alphen refuses to let her go, to the point she forces him to move or she'll shoot, but he's still determined regardless. Shionne breaks down and puts her weapon away. The others come in, and she says that the curse is what prevents Shionne from dying, where the thorns are a part of her, but at the same time, they are not. It's only if the thorns free themselves it'll be when she actually dies. She also tells about the vision she had during her journey, a darkness that will destroy everything. As such, she also tells the truth, that all along she wanted to use Uranus Alma to destroy her curse, but doing so will kill her. With that, it pretty much states that in the beginning, while Alphen and the others have fought to keep Danes living and breathing peacefully, Shionne has fought desperately to die. Though it was complicated for her as she met her friends, so she really didn't want to die before. But to her, it was all pointless. The darkness will have consumed all of existence, including her, so she had no option. Either she lives with her thorns for a while till the darkness is released and destroyed all of life, or she dies with the darkness being dispelled for good. Her maiden powers may have suppressed him for a while, but during the Reg, the thorn's power has grown inside of her, more stronger, more dangerous to the point she can't restrain him anymore. She planned to find the Uranus Alma herself and sacrifice herself to end her curse and save existence as we know it. She even didn't care what happened to her when she arrived on Dana, nor what happened to the Renans and the Danans. But however, things have changed to the point she cries, knowing she has to die but doesn't want to, given she had a new life when she met them. To the point she never wished she never met them, so she didn't have to feel this way. Alphen then hugs her while enduring the thorn's pain, telling her that only living for the sake of dying is no better than being a slave. He deems that not only fair, and that he will never let that happen, saying that they can fight this, fight it to the end together. But she responds with meaning that will be the end of everything else too. Then he asks Shionne on what she truly wants, and whatever happens, it is her decision. But if she doesn't tend to fight against her own fate, then he and the others will fight for her, with them believing there is a way, reminding her that no matter what happens from now on, they are with her, all of them. She is not alone. With the song Hello Again by Ayaka plays in the background, Shionne accepts this, with her shedding her tears. She is now convinced that, right now, and a little longer, she wants to hold on to this dream, and most of all, more than anything else, she wants to be with her friends. Then a moment between the two, they reflect back when Shionne was being called a friend by Alphen, which truly shattered the wall she once created all around her. Before then, she only found him as nothing more than an asset. She then expresses that Alphen cares, and even called her and Dolan his friends, which then everyone else started being friendly towards her, something she couldn't believe at first. She also didn't want to die and lose them all, but also didn't want to live if her friends died in her place. She realizes that when they met, she thought nothing more than just herself, but after opening her feelings and hearing what her friends had to say, she saw a bigger picture. She decided that no more does she want to die, as she met so many friends along the way, and she plans to fight for both Dana and herself, to fight against her fate, to preserve her future, and that she'll win, come hell and high water. Even if she's unsure about how she'll win, she's dead set to know that the world won't end because of her. With that conviction, Alphen is pleased by her response, knowing that while what they do won't be easy, he will be by her side always. During their journey around Renegades, she tells her horrible memories of being experimented, but also presses forward and admires the passion and headstrong her friends had, even after Alphen relieves more of his memories with Nayori. This leads to him and Shionne both donning the sovereign and maiden clothes that he and Nayori wore 3 centuries ago. They are both given a duty that Nayori left them, to find the Uranus Alma, so that the darkness of the Thorns can be truly vanquished, and where Shionne and the world can be saved. Shionne expresses and becomes truly kind and grateful for the experiences she had, more than ready to save everyone and herself. After finding Voan being used by the Helgang crew, and learning that all this time after entering a space station, and learning that the Renans were once Danans but enhanced with astral energy, as well as being tasked to defeat the Renan Great Spirit, one with the means of defeating it could be troubling for Shionne. Even after all the shocking revelation, their conviction to change fate is still not over. Before they head to Rena, both share one last talk on what's probably one of my all-time favorite scenes in the game, and as such, I have a special guest to analyze and talk about the scene in particular. So, without further ado, take it away, my friend.
Have you ever wondered what it was like to have everything before you present itself before the world inevitably ends, where every single thing you fought for and through, hardships, justice, tragedy, sacrifice, and more importantly, inflection on oneself? We ask ourselves these very same questions just as Alphen did, when both Alphen and Shionne reflected on every single moment they went through, both good and bad. You begin to realize the monumental weight of their actual love and relationship weighing down on both as two entire worlds hang in the balance. This moment is a hard-fought example of growth between Alphen and Shionne as they realize the maturity and trust between one another. Like true friends, they were asking if they needed rest but couldn't because of everything before them. Overlooking this beautiful sea of stars as both planets watch their every moment. In this time, Alphen brings up that if it wasn't for Shionne, something in Blazing Sword, he would be nowhere near where he is today. Full of memories, a newfound power, and most importantly, friends. I coined this scene as the promise because Shionne asks Alphen in this moment to promise that if it so happens that the Renaissance does not defeat the Great Spirit, as FFXIII mentions, the only solution is to destroy the main body of Rena and the Thorns within herself. To Alphen's shock, this ultimately means Shionne would sacrifice herself. What this entails is that Alphen must destroy the Master Core with the Thorns in Shionne to end it all if it does not go as planned. Shionne adds that it may not have the accumulative strength of all the Master Cores as the Renaissance, but she knows full well that it defeated so many destructive beasts and corrupt lords all over the land that it must be worth a try. Alphen tries to retaliate back by saying that she has forgotten practically everything they have gone through together, but she begins to answer again. Shionne mentions that it isn't just for them, that the cost of two entire races, both Danans and Renans, would both be brought to extinction if the Great Spirit isn't stopped. They don't know ultimately the best solution to all of this, but this is one of them. Again, Shionne wholeheartedly promises Alphen that she is willing and able to do everything within her power to stop the world from ending. She says this with so much intent and confidence and heroism that she needs Alphen to be there for her too. Alphen answers this by asking to forgive him because he is not allowing Shionne to be sacrificed with everything he is capable of. Shionne forgives him and Alphen thanks her back. One more time, Shionne says, "It's a promise then." And Alphen reaffirms this, and Shionne has the brightest smile imaginable. To Alphen's surprise, Shionne brings up the very moment Alphen first encountered her and how nobody else would ever dare touch her because of fear it brought to their eyes. Shionne couldn't believe Alphen's loyalty to her as he always constantly reached out to her no matter what. Alphen mentions this was merely the time he still couldn't feel pain. Shionne says despite this, he always did, and she felt an indescribable warmth and comfort like no other as she began to try to touch him and the Thorns reactivated again. Shionne says that she absolutely hates to see how much he suffers for her. Alphen says that she won't have to wait very much longer. And in a teasing way, Shionne says, "You think so?" In the attempt to form some words, Alphen wants to say one last thing, but he is cutely hushed by Shionne. And she says, "You can just tell me after." As the shot finally pans out with both of them ending the scene.
Thank you, Jared, and please subscribe to his channel and follow him on Twitter, links in the description below. After that beautiful scene, and with Shionne reflecting on experiences with Rimmel and Kisara, as well as things like the last final bonding event, where Shionne and Alphen now act like a couple, they eventually defeat the Great Spirit, and when they're just about to start the ceremony, Voron arrives and interrupts, with the spirit not only slowly reviving itself, but also the thorns expand with the darkness containing Shionne, with Voron dead set to not only destroy the spirit and claim Arthur's life, as well as others as his own, which will eventually lead to Shionne's death. Alphen steps up and stops him, not only to save the world, but also Shionne, both charged with a sovereign energy for one last fight. After a pretty awesome duel with Alphen and Voron, Voron is defeated, but rather to accept this defeat, he decides to use his sovereign powers to destroy himself and the Renner's armor. With no hope left and time running out, Shionne pleads for Alphen to use the blazing sword and kills her. However, knowing that she's okay with sacrificing herself, even mean that everyone else will be okay. But Alphen can't accept that. He refuses that, as he promised to save her no matter what. Though luckily, Alphen found a way by calling for the will of the Great Spirit of Dana to help, and together they stop the destruction of both planets by fusing into one single world, while saving Shionne by getting rid of her thorns, showing that not only the world was saved, but also that Shionne has been freed from her everlasting curse, able to live without the fearing of death from her thorns, able to spend time with her friends, and able to be with her loved one and new husband. Both of them stand together in the light and kiss, with Blue Moon in the background being sung by once again Ayaka. Both of them now standing together with others, eventually getting married and living their happy ending. Throughout the journey of Tales of Arise, Shionne Vymer Imeris Daymore has undergone a lot of growth, starting at first as nothing more than a cold, stern woman who had selfish motives that she would hide underneath, with the curse and its deadly thorns further cementing her insecurities and being antisocial. But over time, when she spends time with Alphen and the others and learns how much they truly care about her, that they would be beside her, so she'll never have to feel alone, she develops into a more kinder and caring person, opening her true feelings towards others, especially towards Alphen, overcoming her long anxiety and mental struggles of loneliness. You could almost say that the true tale of this game was the friends she made along the way, and I don't think I can truly disagree with that statement in a sense. Both voice actors Erika Lindbeck and Shino Shimoji's performance truly brought the character to life, with a gorgeous design and one hell of a character journey she went through. I can proudly say that Shionne Vymer Imeris Daymore from Tales of Arise is my favorite character in the entire series. Hey guys, thank you guys so much for staying around to the end of this video. You guys are truly awesome, and I really wanted to do something special to celebrate this game's first year anniversary. And of course, special shout out to my friend Jared, aka Codex, for collaborating with me. He's such a great dude, and you should follow both his YouTube channel and Twitter, with the links in the description down below. Anyway guys, thanks for watching, so punch that like button, and drop down a comment and click that subscribe button if you're new. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Mad Kaiser, out.